Ladies and gentlemen, live from the Everyone Racer Studios here at the C&C Mahem Factory in beautiful suburban Birdsboro, Pennsylvania, it's the Everyone Racers Podcast, a show designed for the world of low-dollar racing and oddball car culture. Folks, why, it doesn't matter what kind of LeChamp or track dog you run, SCCA or NASA, we don't discriminate. Well, by golly, we even think you Drifto Hellaflush fellas are all right as long as you drive it hard and built it yourself. Join us each week for tech discussion, tips, tricks, news and notes from the world of low buck racing. And if you're a hard-charging racer type with eyes of steel and a focus and you laugh in the face of danger, Chrissy might just give you the tip. Folks, everyone report to the paddock.
This is Chris.
This is Chrissy.
I'm Smooth Jazzy Jeff.
And this is the delicious dish here on
Oh, that was awesome.
We are Everyone Racers. Thank you for coming back and listening to another super duper episode of our podcast.
Oh, we were super duper last week.
Oh, we're still super duper.
Welcome to episode, wait for it, 40. Did anyone update that? Or is it actually 40?
Oh, we're 40!
We're 40. And we are live on Facebook. Because we could not figure out how to be live on YouTube. So we are live on Facebook. We are monitoring the Facebook page, so if you have questions, we will...
Or insults.
Or appropriate shout-outs.
Emotional outbursts.
Let's see.
Rude gestures.
And if you're listening to this on your way to work, it's Monday, we're just going to tell you right now, it's going long.
Oh, and it's
also 10:45 on a Friday night.
And we've had
we are not sober.
Sorry,
I'm
not
pretty sober.
I'm sorry.
We got to fix that.
I know. So anyway, we are Everyone Racers. We are live on Facebook, and we are going to start the same way we always start, and it is what you working on, Chrissy.
So we've been doing a lot of painting the house. We've been doing a lot of housework, right? So Mental is being Vanna in our house.
It looks great.
It does look
I haven't seen
great.
it since I came to pick up the trailer.
It's so
it
awesome.
looks much better now that you used to.
So awesome. So
we're getting there.
We got a drywall guy in a couple of weeks ago, and then he did a fantastic job, and then all of a sudden we really made a huge effort to do a lot of painting. So we did finish the kitchen painting. I did a whole lot of ceiling painting, a whole lot of stilts walking, doing some painting on the ceiling.
Drywall mudding is one of those jobs that the best tool to use is your checkbook.
A guy. It's a guy. And the guy that we have happened to be just awesome.
I find the drywall gets done much faster and smoother when the checkbook is used to do the drywall. So.
Yeah, we did the same thing. We my primary focus of the checkbook is electrical work because I don't want to burn up.
We have a guy for that. It's called Chrissy's dad.
Hi,
Chrissy's dad.
Hi, Chrissy's dad.
and our electrical guy had a drywall dude. That's how we got all of our downstairs.
Definitely
redone.
The way to go.
Yeah.
So
I use my checkbook for all of the gardening.
Oh,
Why?
I got a guy.
No. You have a son. It builds.
He's
character.
only 9.
He doesn't garden
builds
yet.
character.
In a couple of years.
Should.
Yeah.
Josh, it's been suggested that you do the gardening. So get out there and pull up those weeds.
He can't run over more stuff with the lawnmower than Chrissy did. So.
Okay,
or you, Mr. I'm going to throw metal bolts into my lawn.
No problem.
Okay, so we did a lot of painting, which was awesome. The other thing that I'm doing is it's off race time, right? So in our off race time, we're not on track. So let's do some prep for the next time I'm going to be on track. So I have been taking up. This is actually taken from a podcast from Speed Secrets, one of Ross Bentley. Bentley's Speed Secrets, with a wonderful woman, Anne Morley, I think her name was. It's Withering. So I'm going to go and I'm going to show it to Facebook Live once we because. So basically, I took the time. I bought a big whiteboard. What do you call those? 3M Post-it note.
Into the microphone. Thank you.
No, it's fine. He's telling me. And so I bought one of those, and I bought some pencils, and I bought some Sharpies just for this project, and I made a track map. So I've been watching a ton of. I printed out a whole bunch of Pit Race, which is our next time we'll be on track. I printed out a bunch of track maps on paper, And then I also watched a whole lot of video, and I'm making a track map. And
You drew your own in
did.
big size.
On a big size, and I'm trying to draw the line, and so I can really. It's been forcing me to watch a lot of video, which was awesome, and I'm loving it. So this is one of my things of trying to get better on track. Also just bought Ross Bentley's book because last time I was at an HPDE, they talked about it the whole time. So I was like, all right, gotta watch it, gotta read it. So
which book? He has more than one.
first one.
What's the
Speed
first one?
Secrets.
Speed Secrets.
Yeah, first one. And I'm not even. I just started it because I don't have a lot of time right now. But
You also read the Skip Barber book, Going
Yeah.
Faster, so it'd be interesting to compare Speed Circus versus Going Faster.
yeah, this one has a lot of more of personal touches. You know, he's really more personal, and the other one's very
Sure.
much like
It's
break
very,
here.
It's very
do-
clinical.
Yes, very much.
Yeah, Going Faster is very clinical.
Yes. So
All right.
that's what
All
I've
right.
been doing.
Thanks, honey.
Chris, what are you working on?
I spent most last weekend finishing porting the cylinder head for the Honda because that's free and tedious and something I can do. So that's
And
nice.
I'd like to say that I showed up just in time to stand there with a cup of coffee and supervise as you bolted it all back together. So I'm going to take
Yep.
a little credit for that.
Hey, you got to. I told you about what I did. That's fun. So
Exactly,
there you
yeah.
go, right?
Yeah. I learned something today.
Hey, I got it back today, and nicely I dropped it off the machine shop on Monday, and I said to the guy, I'd really, really, really appreciate it if we get it back by this weekend because I want to put the motor together. And they did, and so I gave him a cold 12-pack of Yingling at 3:30 when they were closing on Friday, and I picked it up. I said, thank you so much. I appreciate your work, Pat. The guy at the machine shop, his name is Pat. He used to build race motors for Penske. And
Say, what machine shop is that? 'Cause
Van Industries, right here in Birdsboro. They are a mile away from the house. I could practically
Right
see
down the
them.
street.
Right, exactly. They're probably about a quarter mile as the crow flies.
So yeah, folks, and if you need a place to mail it to, you can mail it here to the C&C Mayhem Factory.
Sure.
And,
Mail
know,
us your
it ain't-
crap.
It ain't going to be cheap work, but it'll be high quality work.
Pat does a good job. He's a nice, conscientious guy, and he deals with our various ridiculous BS. So good for him.
Well, and I think that's reflected in the fact that how did you guys finish up the season? How did 3-pedal Motto finish up the season last year?
With the motor hella broken.
Oh
No,
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 but
no,
I've
no.
never won a
As
effing
the
champions.
National effing
As
champions.
the national
Yep.
effing champions.
So anyway,
So-
Pat got us that cylinder head back today. I appreciate that. That's good. I also spent a lot of time working on the Suburban. I just had a whole bunch of deferred maintenance, and it's been time. So I got all new brakes and all four wheels, pads, and rotors. Now, we've had such great luck with Ray Bestis brakes from the race cars running the ST43s. They've just been phenomenal. So
Phenomenal.
I decided, they make a nice compound there. I want to give them a try on my street vehicle. Hey, race on Sunday, sell on Monday. Here we go. So I called Ray Bestis up because after looking at their online catalog, there were about 8 choices for the Suburban. I could get, the hybrid technology or the ceramic or like the value stop or, then they had
Organic value
right,
stuff.
right. Then they had
Is it made out of?
no, but then they also had do
Do they have vegan and gluten free?
Yes, they should. They also had the school bus compound. Not kidding.
No.
And the police compound, and then the specialty truck compound. And all these different. They're not getting 8 different compounds. So I called the
I'm
guy.
actually interested in police.
You're not.
compound.
You're
Closer to the
afraid.
mic.
No, police compound, because I would imagine that has to heat up very quickly, but still last for a while.
I don't know. But that's what I
We
called
didn't-
them, and I
you
said
didn't get it though.
I didn't. Well, I called them and I said, "Here's the thing. I've got this here's my Suburban 2500. It spends about half its life towing 5,000 to 7,000 pounds, the other half driving around by itself." And we say, I've looked at all your compounds. There's a whole bunch of them. Which is the right one? And the guy, hands down, said, "Oh, absolutely. You need the specialty truck compound because that's the one with the best friction coefficient. That for your towing and stuff. That's the one you want."
I think that's the one I picked for my Avalanche, like blindly, blind squirrel finds a nut version.
How's it doing for you?
It didn't work.
Well, it's
'Cause
not
those-
because the
it's
pad.
the
It's
hydraulics.
the hydraulics
It's not
don't
the
work.
pads.
The entire brakes don't work. It has nothing to do with the pad.
Nope.
And I remember you had Paget's on the Land Rover.
Yeah.
And I only remember that is because on mornings when I had to be at work really, really early, I never did stop for the first stop sign in the neighborhood. Not every other time
Really?
I'd be like,
Even-
"Oh, that's right."
'cause
I
they-
remember
no, they needed some heat in
they
them.
needed a little heat into them. But I'd have a showtime at 3 a.m. I would go through my neighborhood and I'd put on the brakes. Oh yeah, that's right. As the stop sign just went whizzing by.
Oh,
But again,
wow.
it's 3 a.m.
You
so,
got some
yeah.
good heat in those, and that sucker would stop.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
And that's why I
Yeah.
put those pads on because I wanted something that was going to hold up to towing. So anyway, with the Suburban, I got the specialty truck compound, and when I'm looking at the
Robustus.
box, it's like for Class B and air brakes and all kinds of stuff. I'm like,
No.
all right, I have chosen well, or they chose
I
for
definitely
me well.
got a
Better stop.
truck compound
But they were only-
from Revestus.
They were only like $42. That's the nice part about GM truck. $42 an axle for the pads, the rotors. I got good rotors. They were like. The front ones were about $50 a piece. The rear was a run wholesaler clearance at Rock Auto. They were $12 or something stupid like that because
because they weigh they're only $42 because they weigh as much as a first generation.
Shipping was
Honda
also
Civic.
$42, but yeah, because they weigh so much. Hey, no, whatever. Those are all in. Flushed the brake fluid. Did an oil change. One of our taillights fell off, like the tabs on it.
And while
just
we're in there,
cracked.
we
like,
found it.
just sitting, the taillights just hanging out. So
That's General Motors for
exactly.
Right? Thank you, GM.
So unfortunately, aftermarket
Somebody must have
taillights.
snuck a Insane Clown Posse CD into your because your GM cars will immediately fall apart, exposed to
Who knows?
exposed to ICP.
Oh, I didn't
But
realize.
the aftermarket taillight for a Chevy Suburban, no doubt, $42. Thank you very much. Right?
Well,
Done.
I mean, it's only like the plastic
Right.
backing.
Because it's the answer to everything, isn't it, Jeff?
Except I still hate working on it.
What's the answer to everything?
42.
42, absolutely.
Sure.
The answer
So.
to life.
Yeah. So I got that and did an oil
Sorry,
change with
I'm
else.
reading the Facebook. David Eckel Cheesebolt has entered the room.
Oh, yeah.
Hey.
Hey.
So we also then last thing is I put with the new enclosed trailer and the stock mirrors I couldn't see shit.
No.
Oh,
It's
you
terrible.
cursed.
No.
Oh.
Sorry, Chrissy, parents and mental stat, and Shirley. So I bought these towing mirrors
What are you doing?
on Amazon.
I need a book.
Why?
That's full of quarters.
That's fine. This is what it looks like in the rear view mirror when you're towing an enclosed trailer. It's like a wall following you.
Yeah.
You have no idea what's going on.
So I went on Amazon and I bought these towing mirrors, and they're enormous. I call them Dumbo ears because they're so big on the side of the truck now, and they extend. You can grab them and pull them out if you want.
I
which is
need
even
those.
more.
Oh, no, but
the ones I
people-
got are not extended enough.
But
huge.
the people that were buying them said that they liked them because they look
Oh yeah,
cool.
no, on the Silverado Sierra forums, like, oh yeah, I got these because I like the look. And the guy's like, do you tow? He's like, no, I just think they look good. All right, and everyone's like, yeah, man, good for you.
No.
It's like these things are so big.
Roll
and
and
stupid.
toll,
them.
yo.
Right.
That's what I
Yeah.
need.
Oh, no.
Anyway, I haven't towed them yet, but they work. They bolted on. They're fine. Anyway, and then painting the house.
Yay.
Cool.
That's it. Mental. What have you been doing?
I started
And please make sure you tell everyone why you did that intro when you're discussing what you did today.
fair enough.
Well, the fact that you're here.
Yeah, right?
You know.
Yes. So I actually got started working on the Champ, the Plymouth Champ. So I pulled the gas tank off because Joe Guerin mentioned that it was clogging up the fuel line. That's why it doesn't run. And I pulled the gas tank off, and it's more rust than it is tank. In fact, it is rust from the inside through the top of it. So I'm going to have to find a specialty shop that can either repair or build a custom, or it's getting a fuel cell and the
No,
heck with
you
it.
know what?
no.
British car guys yell this all the time, and there's some kind of liquid you can pour in the inside of the
Yeah.
tank and roll it
Really?
all around, and that will fill holes and do all kinds of nasty things.
The hole's this
for a
big,
fuel-
man. There ain't
for
no
a
liquid
fuel
filling a
cell?
hole.
Oh,
And I'm sorry for the folks not watching live.
But
Big.
what size of a quarter? So
Yeah, exactly. I don't think any liquid's filling a hole size of a quarter.
well, you can brace something onto that.
So yeah, well, and at that
For
point,
fuel, this all sounds like a terrible
Well, you
idea.
just rinse it out with water first,
Okay.
like a lot of water.
Yeah, but no, there are gas tank specialists that
Yeah.
know how to do all that kind of stuff and not blow themselves up.
Yeah.
And
Hey,
Good.
speaking
We're gonna-
of
we're
checkbooks,
gonna
this is
leave it.
probably the time to bust out the
this
checkbook.
is
Right.
a checkbook solving problem.
That's the best way to weld a
Because-
gas tank is with a
Because
checkbook.
you know what
Unless you're
Rock
Eric
Auto,
Phipps.
you know what Rock Auto, Parts Geek, O'Reilly's, Napa, all those people don't have any parts
Anything.
at all for a 1981.
No
also,
way.
because how many of them are left on the road in the United States?
Accounting mine, one.
Okay.
No, wait. Somebody posted
There's
on Facebook.
probably
There's a
3.
race car one out in Denver.
No.
Yes.
There's probably 3 ever.
And the other guy doesn't have the computer.
The other guy has a spare
Yeah,
one.
He doesn't have a
Right.
Yeah,
computer.
the other guy's been trying to get on the internet on his typewriter now
Right?
for 6
He's
years,
just
writing
like, what's
angry
his
letters to the
He's
government.
like, if only
He has a
someone
flip
would buy
phone.
the spare gas tank I have, that'd be great.
So, yeah.
Oh, if only I had some way to tell somebody in Atlanta that I have this gas tank.
I've been putting an ad to Thrifty Nickel for 2 years, and darn it, nobody.
This guy's not seeing it.
Thrifty nickel. Just want to make sure everyone heard. He said thrifty nickel.
Okay,
he's from
mental.
Georgia.
How'd you get here?
So about
I mean, why are you here?
Yeah, about 5:30 this morning because we're doing a work weekend. As you can see, folks, we're working hard. And if you're not watching this on Facebook and you're not in your car, go watch it on Facebook because it's awesome. Anyway, so we're working hard. Pause for a drink.
That's for a
So-
fact.
Yeah.
So at 5:30 this morning, I hopped on my beautiful 2007 anniversary edition Honda VFR, and I pointed it north.
What is that? What is this?
That is a motorcycle.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay. So yeah,
Some people might not know what that is.
My celebrity-owned VFR.
It's the
It's a jet
longest
ski.
freaking drive ever.
I would have been here sooner, but I fell over 19,000 times on the
My
death jet
battery
ski.
died all the time.
I was coming out of the mountains and I was trying to slow it down with my shoe. That didn't work out very well.
Oh noes.
But I got on my my motorcycle and I rode up here. And as Chris was mentioning, that whole intro was inspired by, well, folks, 13 hours is a lot of time to just talk to yourself in a helmet, and you really get some.
How long did your headphones last?
Well, and my headphones actually lasted just fine, but anything above, well, anything at the speeds that I travel on that motorcycle, unless I'm in the state of Virginia.
You mean 25?
Yeah, exactly. Sounds like.
Oh, good.
So, with occasionally, a Foo Fighter song coming through on that one. So, so that was that whole inspiration behind that. There's going to be lots of other oddball stuff that's going to be showing up and rendering its post-traumatic stress syndrome head this weekend as we work on the car stuff.
You're the one that chose that over your perfectly good Porsche. So.
I have said frequently, I'm not a motorcycle guy. I don't know why anyone would choose a motorcycle for 14-hour trip.
Because my Porsche has fixed back racing seats in it, and that's even less comfortable.
Impossible.
And the bike gets 40 miles to the gallon. So.
I'm down with that.
The bike gets 40 miles per gallon doing Millennium Falcon speeds too.
My daily gets that.
What did you do the Kessel run in?
So this was if our listeners remember, about a week and a half ago, Jeff announced that he had finished the Miata project.
No. I was
and
close
then
to finishing the Miata project.
Go back and listen to the episode because it was
I finished the project, and we're like
sorta.
I sort of finished it. So we have backslid.
Yes, we have.
In
our
the
garage.
Miata is officially further away from driving than it was when it got here.
You definitely went 4 wheels off.
Both
you went 4 wheels off today.
Both geographically
actually more like 2.
and logistically, it is farther away because it is parked out front of the C&C Mahem Factory right now.
So I brought the Miata to the father's Miata. Remember?
Not your Miata.
Not my Miata anymore. I'm giving it to my father.
Still titled in your name.
Still titled my name. So I drove it here on 422sucks.com, and it was terrible. It was worse than ever. It took me an extra hour to get here. Yep. It was totally horrible. The Schuylkill Expressway was actually worse than 422.
What is up with Friday traffic around here?
Terrible.
And I live in Atlanta.
Hey, you got it in West Virginia. I don't know what else people are up to.
That's
seriously,
not our problem.
He was like, "Welcome to West Virginia. Stop moving."
Well, that's why are you blaming that on us?
Hey,
no, but
they go
the
little
turnpike
slower there.
I'm pretty sure it's my segment. I don't know why everyone's talking.
I paid $6 because we're going to run long tonight. I paid $6 to pee blood.
I don't even know what time we have.
So anyway,
17 minutes.
I will say that I'm not sure what is scarier. The Suburban with an empty trailer on 422 when it gets really skinny and it's raining so hard you can't see the lines, or a Miata. Because it got skinny and people were like, I'm near the wall, the Jersey wall, or I'll just keep moving in on this little tiny car. Clearly it will move out of the way.
Oh. You get the same with the NSX because no one sees
no
you.
one
because
sees you, exactly.
You are waist height for anyone. Like a Camry looks down on the NSX.
Yeah.
Same with the Miata, though. We've almost got
tiny.
rid off the road.
But an NSX at least attracts attention because it's a pretty car. People go, "Oh wow, an NSX." That thing's camouflage. They're like, "Oh look, dirt clod."
Here's how most people see the NSX. Boom.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, that was awesome."
Hey, and real quick though, everybody say hi to Vicky because she actually just logged in.
Hey, Vicky.
Hi, Vicky.
Oh, wait, and there's so many. But the mental says is awesome. Mental is awesome. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Bruce
says,
is on.
Mental has better hair, needs to be up front.
That's
yeah, that's true.
That's what he said.
Oh no.
And then Todd Carver's on here too.
No, you can't. Now you got to switch your computer. It's not going to work.
Oh, it's going to be all over the place. Thanks.
I'm perfectly willing not to be in front of the camera. So anyway, let's get back.
It's the suit, Jeff.
It's the suit. It's the green shirt. Listen, so I drove a perfectly functioning Miata into Chris and Chrissy's garage today.
Some old lady at a Target parking lot, apparently.
And
that was last week.
That was last week. So It ran great. There was no trouble here.
The goal was to give it an alignment.
We
on the hub
needed
stands.
an alignment, and I broke 4 out of 4 bolts on the rear lower. Right, it was the lower arms. The alignment bolts on the lower.
Where you adjust the toe.
Now, did you go out and hit the pace car? Because we want you to be perfect
know.
at something.
Don't hit the
No, we
pace
were
car.
eating ice cream.
We're eating ice cream. So I called around to the local auto parts store, and the parts guy actually told me, here's what I'm going to do. I have to order them from Rock Auto, double the price, and charge that to you. Do you think you can order yourself? I said, yep, I'll get them myself, dude. Thanks. He says they're not in my computer.
For being straight, though.
All right,
Props to
where's
you
your
for being
microphone?
honest. It's right
Pick up your
there.
microphone.
You're lazy.
All right.
He only has 2 hands, but one has a drink, and that has to go down
And
first.
the other one
The other one's in
is
his
where-
lap. I don't know what he's
I know
doing.
where the other one is.
I
know
it's
cutting his
quaffing.
head.
Quaffing, yes.
I love you in the Trailer Park Boys. So,
Where's your grease?
yeah, that's
Red
it.
Hills and Grease.
We are here.
Sandwiches.
We are here. We are building Miata. Or we're building.
We're
The
not
Miata is
here.
broken.
Building
the
the
Miata
Miata.
is on the street. We are.
Guess
building
who's
going to
fix the Miata this week? Probably me.
But the parts are going to show up at my house.
Why? That's
That's
dumb.
perfect. That means I don't have to touch it.
How are you gonna get
Awesome.
home?
He's taking your car.
How is he going to get the Miata parts?
He's going to drive up here next week and fix his own damn car
That's right.
when we're on Cape Cod,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
then drive it home.
One night.
Liquor
That's-
ball sandwich.
Hey, Jeff, you know what? I'm very upset at you that I have to drive the NSX all week. Damn it.
Hey,
Let's
also,
get on to news and notes.
Before we do that,
No.
everybody give a shout out to Dan Gillis. He's the Gila Monster.
Gila
there.
Monster.
Yeah, we have a lot of people on. This is
Yeah.
awesome.
Hey, yeah, and the camper destroying man himself.
Thank you.
It's
He is the OS of the OG GRMers.
microphone, Chris. No one can hear you.
Sorry. I mean, like, Mental,
can
you and
hear you.
I and Dan, like, we've all been on GRM forum for like 20 years at this point, which is kind of obnoxious.
So gross. That means
Oh
you're
my
freaking.
God, you're
so
right.
freaking
Like,
old.
well, let's say 15-ish.
Oh
right?
my God,
Dang.
you're
Like, right
freaking
about the
old.
time of the 2002 challenge-ish, I know.
Do you want to know how old I was in 2002?
No, shut. Do not want to know. Do not want to know.
Hey, she was legal.
Barely.
All right, everyone. All right, everyone, pay attention. We're still doing a podcast here. News and notes time.
Okay.
All you, Jeff. All you.
Okay, I'm going to go for one here. I have a new driverless car hits a person story. This time it is a historical jaunt by none other than friend of the Three Pedal Mafia and legitimate audio journalist, Brett Burke.
No.
Yes, Brett Burke has written a story for The Drive. It's a 1932, a radio-controlled car in a sideshow thrill show, drives into the crowd in Pennsylvania and hits a dozen or so people.
Of course it was Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's all right.
I'm pretty sure it's Pennsylvania.
But it's 1932.
1932. So one of the people never recovered from their brain injury. It's a great article. I really just wanted to bring it up because, hey, Brett Burke, we love him. So
Legit.
there it is.
You made him knee pads.
I did make him knee pads. He loved my knee pads. He's the only journalist I ever let in my car. Real journalist, not like mental.
What does he know, though?
What does he know? That girl with the puffalumps, we let her in our car. How did that work out?
She sat in the back of the boat.
It
while
broke.
Yeah, yeah.
It was broken. I have another story. I guess I'll go again.
Yeah.
So I have entitled this one, You Thought It Was a NUMMI. Turns out it's still just NUMMI. We had a conversation the other day about the NUMMI plant, the worst plant in America. Now they're making Teslas, and everyone gave me crap. They're like, oh, no, it's all better now because, Elon's running it. It turns out that one of the Tesla employees was doing some kind of major sabotage on the new 3, the Tesla 3s.
Yes. This is like Chrysler 1978.
This
when
is
they're
like
sticking
really
beer
bad.
cans, sticking beer
Yeah.
cans in the fenders.
Like it was because he disgruntled or somebody paying him to sabotage.
So no.
this?
Well, it's unknown. Elon basically sent out an email, and I love this part. He says the full extent of his actions are not clear, but what he has admitted to so far is pretty bad. He stated that his motivation was that he wanted a promotion that he did not receive. In the light of these actions, not promoting him was definitely the right move.
Very, very, very Musk answer.
Very, very Elon Musk answer.
I think my favorite Elon Musk answers ever, after one of the rockets blowed up, he's like, well, that was a rapid unplanned disassembly.
And make fun of him all you want, but he made 2 of them land at the same time.
Yeah, so either way, it seems that he not only destroyed some of the machinery, he misprogrammed some of the machinery so they would, because it's a lot of automated machinery, so they would build the wrong stuff. He also did a lot of espionage and stole a lot of the software and sent it to a third party. So,
see, I would say, because if you're Elon Musk, props to that, because I would just think, okay, at this point, I'm picking up the bat phone and I'm hiring an army of third world mercenaries, and he's just going to disappear.
And he probably could do that.
yeah, it's a strange chapter in the world of Tesla, and there it is.
All right.
It's NUMMI. They still suck.
So
NUMMI,
we
man.
like racing, right? That's why we're here.
Yes.
Does
Tell us
anybody
about
watch that? Like, so we run a long race that is of crappy cars, and there was a long race of fan-freaking-tastic cars this
Excellent
weekend.
cars.
Anybody watch
Excellent
it?
car. I
Anybody
did.
watch it?
I caught some snippets.
Was
I
that
did
in
not.
the France?
It was in the
Did not get-
France.
yeah.
Yep.
France?
It was Lemans.
Actually, most of my
was
updates
the
were coming
Lemans.
from Chris and Dr. Mom.
Oh, they're wonderful. So as Mental said, there was a couple of Lemoners that went to the race, which was awesome. They were posting videos from their corner. They showed a 30.
Man, those Toyotas just ran away.
They did.
1 second.
Yeah, did you guys see
video.
the video footage of
Alonso or whatever.
just
Fernando
just
Alonso.
I mean, it was like
Yeah.
staged.
Yeah, that's kind of what it looks like running the Civic at Thompson.
So that's not why I'm talking about this. I did watch it, which was great. Chris was doing car work. I stayed in the
I was
house.
supporting a cylinder head while Chrissy was in the air conditioning.
It
and
was
I was
wonderful.
outside at
I was
89
painting,
degrees.
not fun, but I did have the race on, so it didn't really suck. So I was like, "Oh, what's going on?" And I was telling him, I opened the door and be like, "This just happened! Oh my god, this car just trying to make a bad pass and then crashed all over the place and
She's
went
like,
out."
"Oh, it's hot."
I was like, "This is gross." I was like, "I'm a little cold in the house." Should I? Like, yeah, that happened. Okay. Anyway, why I'm telling you this is there was one. I decided to look up if there were any women. There was one woman.
There's one woman.
And I don't think. I mean, I didn't watch all 24 hours, but I don't think they ever mentioned her.
Well, they mentioned her when she was on the shift. They
Oh,
didn't
good.
talk to her about it being a woman. They didn't go into any specific detail.
No.
They just said her name.
Which is fine.
Just reported
So-
her just like any other driver.
Which is great. I'm just happy to see that there was one woman, Christina Nielson, and she was supposed to be driving the 80 LMGTE AM class. I don't know what they did.
They did not win.
No.
They're one of the mix professional privateer classes.
Okay.
They were in a 911, I believe. And
I didn't.
Of
It
course
did-
they were, because it's Le Mans.
Yeah, it did well, but it was just part of the
Which is
pack.
fine.
Yeah.
No, it's no problem. But it's
911's like the belly button.
Yeah.
it's just sad to see this-
McDreamy actually did well.
Oh,
His
absolutely.
car won class, whichever. I think it's that class, LMGTE AM.
Yeah, it's the Petapig one.
Hey, good
No,
for him.
not
No,
Petapig.
not the pig. The pig won a different class.
Oh well, both of his
Yeah.
classes. So anyway, I
All
brought
them
this.
porches.
I really
Yeah.
only brought this up because there was
Okay.
one woman, and I was happy to see one woman. One is not enough.
I definitely saw during watching the coverage that I saw engineers and mechanics who were women. So they seem
We
to
watched
be,
a documentary once about women that are
Oh,
the
that was- it was about-
amazing
It's about Audi a
engineers.
few years ago.
Engineers
And
that were
their like head race team planner was a woman who was just
Yeah.
on the ball.
Yeah, I mean,
and
that-
really made that team successful.
yeah,
Yeah.
not enough.
I know this isn't the DFL podcast, but I will mention that the Toyotas ran away with it because, the 24 Hours of Le Mans cheated for them. They basically designed a class that could only be for their car and penalized all the other cars that were not hybrid. But they were the only people bringing a hybrid.
Well, Toyota
So-
doesn't exactly have a long history of success here.
No.
They've brought the same thing for the last few years.
Yeah.
Well,
and
they
it's hella
crashed.
done blowed up.
Yeah, all the time.
Well,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the Volkswagen can no longer bring its diesels because they don't want to be involved in any Dieselgate. So
And Porsche didn't bring it. The car that did so well last year, Porsche didn't bring that back out this year.
Yeah.
So who knows?
So there it is.
Honda's not bringing any Acura stuff in that level, which I mean they could. It's kind of up their alley, but they're
It's
not.
a shame that they're not, because that is some impressive technology on that one.
So I think mentally. So that was the only reason why I brought it up. I mean, it was a fantastic race, really fun to watch. So nice to have it on for 24 hours, and I could watch them, and then I could go to bed. And then they were not betting.
By the way, we actually have all gotten a cordial invitation by Champion and Dr. Mom.
We need to do that
to accompany them next year.
Yeah,
or not next year. 2020. That's when they want to make their next one.
Very good.
Next
We can book it.
pilgrimage.
Your wife called us nerds, and read the next story.
So, in addition to
She's not
amazing
wrong.
racing that was going on in Le Mans, slightly less expensive automobiles. So the Champ Car folks, the RVA Graphics and Wraps National Championship was running the full course at NCM this weekend. Now, it looks like what they did is they staggered it because they've got their normal A, B, and C, and then they had their championship contenders. Now, just the overall, the guys that took everything, big surprise of the RVA Graphics and Wraps National Championship. The number one overall was the RVA Graphics 1989 BMW 325.
Boring.
Now, I've seen that car in non-RVA graphics. Actually, I've seen that car in a couple of different events. It's a well-run team, and they've got that car really sorted. They got 350 laps out. So that was also your C championship contenders. So they had your championship contenders, and then they had their classes. Number 2 was the 949 94 Supra with 358 laps, and number 3 was the Ludicrous Speed 91 Toyota MR2 with 351 laps. The A-Class championship contender was the Level 1 Racing 306 laps. Yes, Chrissy.
Number 1 and number 2 were on the same lap. That's probably a good
so they
race
were
then.
breathing. Yeah, they were breathing down their necks on that one. The B championship contender was, there were only 2 cars running the B championship contention, but it was the number 38, the Blue Shells 2003 Ford Focus, and I've seen that one. That actually also is another. It's a well-run team, but they only got 124 laps, so they were having some issues.
Yeah, I was
and
gonna
they still won
So-
their class.
So the B championship contender was also called the participant.
Were they one of 2 and the other one didn't run?
That's like some of our AER trophies. Participant.
We have one of those.
So Class C, number 160, running with the Bulls. Big surprise, AER, they were running an E30.
Boring.
Boring. Now, it's
Neon,
interesting.
though.
Class B, exactly. Class B, the C137 1997 purple Dodge Neon got 307 laps, which that's respectable for a
lot of
Neon.
laps.
I've driven 2 different Neons in Champ and AER, and it's hard.
That's a car that has completely disappeared from the street. Like, when is the last time? Oh,
Never.
you live in
Right?
South Bend,
Never
so maybe
seen
you've
a
seen them.
Neon.
But
No,
Ever.
no,
In the
no, because
Northeast.
they were disposable when
Yeah.
people bought. They were
even the second generation ones, they are gone.
no one loved them.
Completely.
No one loved them at
Well,
all.
and they're not anything
How many
interesting.
2002 Civics do you see? They're everywhere.
Lot.
Yeah.
Right.
They sold a lot more Civics.
Yeah, they sold a lot of neons.
Well, there were no neons in any of the Fast and Furious or Gone in 60 Seconds. you
Well,
know.
because they're nothing interesting, like I said.
Yeah. And then also finally the Class A number 341 on Second Thought Racing, the 1991 Miata with 306 laps. But also the World Racing League had the World Racing League Trofeo Colorado out at High Plains Raceway. Now bear with me, folks.
anyone race an Oldsmobile Trofeo, though? Really?
Trofeo.
I don't know.
That's a shame, because
sorry?
that was a quality race car.
That was.
Oh, I'm sorry, what just happened?
Well, I asked if anyone raced an Oldsmobile Trofeo.
Trofeo.
That was an 80 in
No.
the 80s. Oldsmobile
Why
had
was
a
that?
Trofeo.
Oh, it was like the last
Trofeo.
of the personal
Oh, yeah.
luxury coupes.
I didn't
It
even
was
know what you're
basically
talking about.
Oldsmobile trying to make a car to compete with BMW, but still using like GM parts bins.
It was
Yeah, yeah.
no, it was Oldsmobile trying to make a part to compete with the Buick Riata, which
My
had already
computer
failed by this
just-
point,
my
is what it
computer
was.
is-
And
in
Chrissy,
me.
the commercial went Trofeo.
I had no idea. I thought
Chrissy
it was just
Harris
you being annoying.
All right,
Oh, that's
so-
beautiful.
No, it's
for an
not.
Oldsmobile. It's
Actually,
lovely.
yeah. They did look pretty spacey for the time.
Kind of, yeah.
You know,
it's
and,
a new generation of Oldsmobile.
Sure.
according
I'm
to
sorry.
what
We
I
were
was
No,
looking
no,
at.
that's fine.
interrupting here.
You know, back when
Oh,
Truth
my
About
God.
Cars used to actually have some really interesting fiction on there, they would do the Sunday stories. And Thomas Kurtler, who now writes for Riverside Green, wrote a great piece about Oldsmobile Trofeo, a lovely fiction piece. And you should dig it up.
Piece,
I'm
okay.
sorry, friction. Yeah, see, now you got me doing it. Fiction piece. It's a beautiful.
No, you said fiction.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
was
okay.
just trying to understand what a fiction piece about.
It was,
Oh, wow.
It was actually Harry and Gina Belafonte
And
singing Trofeo.
It's only mildly
Trofeo.
racist looking at it, actually.
It was the 80s. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
So back to the folks, the Trofeo, the World Racing League. So your top three folks, Hoonhaven, GrayDesignBuild.com, and the Driving Force Motorsports took over that. And in class, GP2, Hoonhaven, of course, Schmitty and Son Performance, and the Meat Wagon, MIET. So I'm guessing.
It's like,
let me guess. BMW. GP1, Gray Design Build, Einstein Racing, Perpetual Adolescence. I like the way those guys think. GP3, Driving Sports, Sector Purple, and the Stooges. GP4, yet another collection of Miatas. And the GTO Sweet Spot took the overall run on that one. So congratulations, guys.
Trofeo.
We're still trying to get some of the folks out here from World Racing League. Joey Todd, we're waiting for you, man.
Yeah,
Please
man.
return my emails.
WRL, we need to do more WR coverage.
We really do, really, because
BMWs.
it's a great series. I've won World Racing League. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, it's good to be live.
Yeah, indeed it is.
So
Now-
there was also a interesting story from your friend Jack Baruth there on Road and Track
Yes.
about the future of driving safety.
Future. So head on over to roadandtrack.com, look at his column Avoidable Contact, and he wrote a piece about Extreme Experience. Now, he had actually driven with Extreme Experience back in 2014, and his concern was some of these people didn't even need to be driving to the track, and then you're putting them in a supercar. And he was contrasting that experience with one of his most recent experience at Pitts Race, where he went through their new and improved instructor safety and certification program. And one of the things at Extreme Experience, they're leading the cause on this one with the Motorsport Safety Foundation to establish a standard for high performance supercar entertainment style instruction. And as a result
in addition to actual HPD style instruction as well.
Exactly.
It's a separate branch.
Yeah, they standardized everything. You now get signed off as an instructor. And he wrote the progress that they've been making because they don't have incidents at Extreme Experience. It's a really, really great, safe, lot of fun program. And speaking of Extreme Experience,
yeah, speaking of, Extreme Experience puts you in the driver's seat of some of the world's best supercars at over 20 racetracks in America and Canada with no speed limits, no shifting restrictions, and no governors. Head to xxspeed.com to choose your supercar, find a racetrack near you, and start making a story of your own. There are 7 models of exotic cars and or supercars to choose from, 20-plus tracks, including a year-round location in New Orleans, Louisiana, with a 3,200-foot straightaway that Mental loves to talk about. A pro instructor like Mental Chris or me. I'm Chris. Hey, or Mental Jeff or me.
See?
In the car with you.
We never change that.
No, we never
don't.
do.
Never
But there
change
it
that.
is.
We just
Fantastic.
change the color and let the next guy
But
do
hey,
it.
you know what? All 3 of us help you explore the car's limits and learn how to drive the racing line. Unless you don't care, then we're just going to keep you safe.
Oh, stop it.
And
stop,
you
stop,
can
stop,
save
stop, stop.
25% when you use the code EveryoneRacers at xxspeed.com to book today. Extreme Experience, it's your turn.
Your turn.
That's Everyone Racers, no space, at xxspeed.com for
Absolutely.
the 25%.
if you buy 3 cars and you use that code, you
Right?
get a 4th
Isn't
one
that
for free.
fantastic? That's
It's
so
fantastic.
awesome.
And really, if you want to do this kind of thing, put the code in. It saves you money. It helps us out.
Absolutely.
Everyone wins.
Oh, just try it.
So we would like to thank Jack for writing about it. Thank Extreme Experience for covering and helping us out with the podcast. And thank Chrissy's mom because we got a whole box of cookies here
Oh,
to
yes.
eat at dinner. So thanks, Chrissy's mom.
You want to know
Not
the
just
real
one,
reason I
but
rode
2
14 and a half
boxes of
hours on
cookies.
a... You want to know the real reason I rode 14 and a half hours on a motorcycle?
Because you thought you might get some cookies.
Snickerdoodles.
You
Oh,
might
well,
get some
yeah.
cookies.
I think in your tank bag on the way home, you can put a whole bunch of cookies, and then gradually just reach your hand into the tank bag.
You totally can because now that I'm seeing myself on camera with this lovely green shirt, I'm not eating any more cookies.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to roll up next to like that minivan that's going on vacation, and they got the 2 kids in the back seat, and I'm just going to pull up next to them, reach in my tank bag, pull out 1 cookie, look at them, eat the cookie. Yeah, and then just pull on away.
For all y'all
the
that can't
hero
see
for
this.
that kid. This dude with great hair on a motorcycle
But
eating
he's got
cookies.
a helmet on. He can't see how great
He
his
can
hair
still tell
is.
his hair
sense
is.
Well,
it.
the question
You
is,
can
the question is
sense
he
it.
going to actually like pop the visor and eat the cookie, or just like smash it into the visor?
He's like Cookie Monster.
Cookie Monster's out.
Now, and actually in the world of racing news, Dan just pointed out too, and I did catch a snippet of this. So the boys in NASCAR were actually turning left and right where? At a Lemans track in Sonoma this weekend.
Who was?
They did the NASCAR was on Sonoma.
Yeah.
Mental, say NASCAR right. You're from the South.
NASCAR.
Perfect. Thank you.
Well, here's how we say it right in the
realize.
South. The Winston Cup Series.
Winston. Doesn't matter who it is these days.
That's the old days.
Look, let's get on to the main topic.
Speaking of race cars,
How to pick a race car. We just did it here. Everybody's got to do it someday. How to pick a race car. Probably. Let's think about how most people decide to go racing. They pick a series first. They decide they're going to go to Lemans, or they decide they're going to SCCA race, or they decide they're going to go to AER or Track Dog or WRL, and then they say, let's get a car. Probably the right method, but let's talk about how you pick a car.
or it's, well, I got this here Oldsmobile Trofeo.
Trofeo.
Where do I done
Or
race it?
Grandmom's Corsica is in my driveway.
I think everyone dreams that the
A
car in
champ
their
for
driveway-
$105. Well, let me
Or-
get my trailer.
I have this BMW of any kind.
Oh, you didn't see? We can hear it. We can hear it. There you go.
Yep. And I like BMWs too. Hey, so
Oh, turn it.
Oh, sorry.
So we're going to talk a little bit about how we made our recent choice of the 300ZX, because it's an interesting,
Well, no,
time
we're
to talk.
talking about. We're just talking about race cars.
Yeah, no,
because-
but part of that is going to include our choice of the
Sure.
Well, because
Chris
before the
is deciding
300
the
came up,
300.
there was a lot of extensive, sober, and enhanced discussions
Oh, yeah.
online, via text.
all
you name it.
sober,
No, it was both.
It was.
sober
no,
and
discussions.
enhanced.
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
So,
Okay.
well, Menzel, why don't you start off, because you recently bought an interesting car, and
I
you can
did.
talk about that, and you can talk a little bit about some other series.
Well, and I still don't know what the ultimate destination of that car is. It just depends on how hard it is to get points for it. But it follows the Jeff method of the title matches the VIN number. It wasn't on fire.
at the moment.
At
it's
the
not-
moment. And actually, I don't think it can catch on fire because it can't hold fuel.
Because it's dumping
That
out
big
the
hole,
bottom.
that hole in the gas tank might help. Though.
Well, it's full of rust. So it'll dump flammable rust, which I'm sure that's on an episode of
Yeah.
Burn Notice. Anyway,
Inflammable means flammable.
what a country! Now, and we touch on this a lot. The Three Pedal Mafia does run a lot of Lemans races, but we're branching out. We're doing. We're going to do that. We're going to own that go-kart enduro in VIR in October.
With
But
NASA.
Exactly. We do a lot of instruction. We do stuff with Extreme Experience. And there are other series out there. So the key thing is, what series are you going to run? Like the guys down in Florida, the Fat Crack Racing, they primarily run Champ because that's who was down there. Lemans had not made any forays into Florida. There was a time when all this stuff was very regionalized. AER was up in this part of the country and kind of in the Midwest. WRL was covering Texas and Oklahoma and all that. And then you had Lucky Dog out on the West Coast. So find what series you're going to run in. What series is going to the tracks. And then, for God's sakes, get their rule books. They all have their rule books online and understand how they value things. Now, Champ, they run a point value system, and it's a bit complicated, and it gets more complicated if you buy a race car and then try to make it fit into their rules. Look
Yeah,
at their
absolutely.
rules and
Good
decide
point.
what your ultimate goal is and how you're going to get that horsepower. So, for example, if you want a fast car out of the box that you're not going to do a lot of modifications to, your Lexus SC300s, SC400s, these are good cars unless you buy one from Speedy Cop. We
That's
love you. We
terrible.
love you. I'm kidding, Speedy Cop. It's just,
It's like the guys with the SC300s they're doing well in
extremely well.
they have a 500 point limit or something along those lines.
Correct.
But the SC300 is about a 500 point car, but there's a number of free mods you can make, like cutting the springs and things like that. And
it's all been done.
Right.
It's this is not, you're not forging
Right.
new territory with that car, and it's basically a Supra with fancier
Right.
skin on it.
And the SC300, it doesn't need a lot of other mods. Like, it's good enough as it is. Where you start with something like your Champ, I think it's listed as it's actually negative $20 to start.
Yes, exactly.
but
I
even
actually
like-
get a participation trophy if I show up.
Right, but even like our Civic, I think starts at like 150. But on the other hand, all the junk we've done to our Civic would put it way over the top, even though it's meant not quite as fast as maybe the SC300. Who knows?
Yeah, I think the we all know that. Obviously, we talk a lot about endurance racing, and endurance racing a car that is less modified is probably going to last longer than a car that is highly modified.
Absolutely.
We talked about the Civic motor today before it had a turbo, before it had a lot of the work on it, was a total workhorse, and it never broke. But as you run closer to the pointier end of the field, you're going to brake more, you're going to suck more gas, you're going to need more suspension.
You got to have more brakes to slow it down.
More tires. So a car, I don't know their point system as well as you guys. If there's a car that is out of the box, almost stock, that is competitive, that's what you want to shoot for.
And the thing, what's nice about Champ is before you actually click buy it now on that eBay ad, you can go onto their website and do the calculations. They've got it all figured out. They've got the whole thing. You just type in, here's how much horsepower the car has now, and here's how much the new engine swap's going to have in it, and they'll give you a points value.
They have simplified it a bit. I mean, it used to be
tough,
this draconian calculation that made your eyes bleed. They now have a little worksheet. I think Bill Strong and those guys have really done a bit to try to simplify it a bit, and good for them. And they've made it more user friendly, but it's still, there's a point system. You got to follow it, think about it. Most of the time, engine swaps are not the right thing, but there are some engine swaps that are great. Like apparently the guys that are swapping Ecotechs into Miatas because of the way the point value of the motor that you can sell based on the car part value versus the point value of the Ecotech motor, because the Ecotech motor was in every freaking Malibu and Equinox and everything like that. It's worth $12.
Exactly.
That's interesting. An Ecotech.
Yeah.
Oh, they're useless. Brett Sloman runs them in his the Toyolette. And he tells me when they blow, he doesn't rebuild them because the rebuild kit is more expensive than the engine.
Because they put it in everything.
Wow.
And yeah, so he's like, it's not so much that they're Ecotech experts, and they're Brett and Aaron are both great mechanics. It's just, no, I'm not going to become an Ecotech expert because it's just, I'm going to solve this problem with my checkbook.
But it's cheaper
Not always
than the
bad.
building.
It is. It is.
Exactly.
It's way cheaper, and especially if you've got everything on there. Now, the other aspect of that is when you look at someone like AER, if you see a cool race car and you've got the money for it, buy it because AER will find a place for it.
It best be fast enough.
It best be fast. They are really starting to deal with a lot of speed differential, and from a logistics standpoint, they're wrestling it. I'm not because of their skill as drivers. I'm genuinely surprised the Keystone Cops are still running that series because they are just it's a quick, well-driven Volvo. But dear God, man, you've got C6 vets that are just coming down at
highly prepared.
Even like an
C6
NC Miata is a back marker.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and I've had my ears pop in an MX-5 in AER. But here's the thing, AER, if it's a quick new car, buy it. And then just jump in there and run it. NT Class and Medium. I think WRL has a much similar kind of approach, Jeff.
I just want to actually mention that the SCCA's classing system is based on trying to level the playing field. So, I mean, I'm not going to say whether they're successful on it. That is highly debatable, and it's why Lemans exists, because their rule book just got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
Because everybody wanted their own class.
Because, well, what it was as things got too fast, they had to change its class. And they were constantly messing with the rule book to make sure that all the classes were equal, and just about anything you could show up with would have a competitive class, while they got very restrictive on the amount of things that you could do with the car. So now you can't change the springs on that Miata, and this Miata needs to change to that motor to be competitive.
No changing the rear sway bar.
No changing the rear sway bar, and this. So the rule book got heavier and heavier and heavier and heavier based on we're going to write a rule book that gives everybody a chance.
And it's pretty clear the series that have been successful, especially in the last 10 years, are the ones that are inclusive.
Yes.
And that's like most things in life. If you're inclusive, you're going to have a better time and happier people. Find a way to make it work. Like NASA tries to do their TT. We'll find a place to put you.
Yeah.
We just got to figure it out.
And I think that's what drastically different between an SCCA, which is not endurance racing, that's sprint racing, and Champ, which they're trying to class you with the rule book. Yeah. But a WRL or an AER is trying to class you with the Friday.
I was going to say, WRL definitely seems to be more inclusive. They're about power to weight ratio.
Power to weight ratio.
They'll let, I mean,
you can show up with something stupid and they're going to
they
measure your car.
They limit it, though. Anything more than
car.
WRL limits it. If you are more or less than 9 pounds per horsepower, if you get too fast, they won't let you in.
They won't let you in.
Right.
Yeah.
But also, if you're an ITC car with 75 horsepower, you're not going to make it either. So you've got to be at least like an ITB car, like even our Civic non-turbo would have been okay,
Yeah.
but also like the Ferrari Challenge cars are not okay.
No.
So it's nice that they're limiting both ends of the spectrum to try to keep it
Keep it in
safer.
the middle.
Yeah.
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 And so understand your class, and we'll probably touch on this in a bit, but Dave Eckel mentioned this as well. Inventory what junk parts you already have, and whatever car you have the most parts for already, take that one. There you go. Buy 3 more of that car and go racing.
Stop reading ahead. That's what I had on my list.
Hey, you know what? You know why we
no.
race a Honda?
Yeah. Well, and that was so much of the discussion is Jeff and I were firmly in the rear-wheel drive camp, and you kept saying Civic, and you're just we get it. You can make a Civic fast, and that's awesome. But you've solved that puzzle.
But the difference between an '89 Civic and an '06 Civic is everything except that it's a Honda Civic.
But like the Landshark guys have done the 06 Civic thing, and they've done extremely well with it. It's a very prepared and well driven car. There's only a handful of teams out there running 300s.
So let's talk about
go on, Chris, because we're getting into your topic here. And I want you to speak.
So we just decided on our new car, the ZX, and having done everything else in Lemans, we decided we wanted an A-class car because we haven't really done enough of that yet. So that's our newest challenge. So we also didn't want it to be a belly button. We didn't want it to be
a BMW,
another BMW because
boring.
Hold on. Nope, it just
it didn't work.
Boring.
There you
So, no BMWs, no Miata, nothing like that. So but it can't be. We've done the C class, we've done the IOE thing a bunch of times. So it's not an old Trofeo. So we broke it down one night to what does it take,
or as my wife is now calling it, the chump.
Fine.
Well, that's
Good.
what it was.
That's about
so,
right.
No.
No, that's the guy that bought it.
Sure. Oh, there you go.
Good. So we decided that a successful Lemans A-class car is something that needs to be moderately lightweight, like 3,000 pounds in race trim-ish or less. It needs to have 180 to 240 horsepower because any less you're not going to be fast enough. Any more you're going to burn too much fuel, like the F bodies do.
And you had some ancillary qualifications because you were looking beyond.
I'm getting there.
Okay, sorry. Shut up, Mental.
Read the notes, Mental. It's got to be able to fit lots of tire and lots of brakes because that's been our
what
success
we
story,
do.
right? We
Right.
like all the tires and all the brakes.
It's the simplest way to go fast.
Yep. It's got to have a decent sized gas tank, ideally. That's nice to have. Decent parts availability. It doesn't need to be, like a Mustang
Because
where
the
every part's
Citroen
available.
and a Rolls are
right.
like
Those are a little harder.
yeah. Not so much for the Citroen.
when you have a race car, that's
But even
a
the
Rolls.
Civic, we're running into parts availability. issues
Oh
because
yes,
it's old.
we are.
It has to be available reasonably at the necessary Lemans price point. Like we don't want to find a car that you can't find less than $5,000. That's not right for us. Having a limited slip available is really nice. So we'd narrow it down to a 300ZX, a Civic Si, a Mercedes C230 compressor, or a Saturn Ion Redline. I was firmly in the Civic camp because you all know why, right? It makes
It's
sense.
tattooed on his chest.
Pretty much.
It's not, but
Jeff was putting up a fight bigger than Jeff's ever done. It says rear wheel drive.
I didn't want. It just wasn't rear wheel drive. I didn't want another Civic. And I know that we already have a Civic, but one of the things that I really like about our team is having different cars that are different. So when you jump from one to the other, it feels different. And then other people were saying, Jeff, don't do that.
right, get one.
Be a front wheel drive team or be a rear wheel drive team. And I didn't like that. I wanted to be different.
And I feel like with our emphasis on education and just the ability of you preach this, you both preach this a lot, is being able to flex and do a different mission at the drop of a hat. And I feel like having two different layouts kind of just backs that up, adds credence to it.
Well, I mean, the Z basically fell in our lap. It was one of those. Well, it was on Craigslist for $1,300. We texted the guy.
Picked it up a lot cheaper than that.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a 3-digit price.
Yes, it was.
It runs and drives and has a title that matches the VIN, and it's not currently on fire. So here we go.
It was actually in better shape than the other ones we saw on the Craigslist. We covered that last week.
Yep.
But I just want to talk a little bit about one of the things that I wanted because, there was a lot of stuff I wanted more, and they were totally bad ideas. DSMs, magic spinning triangles, and these things were like right out. No RX-7s, no Wankles,
nice.
No DSMs or other all-wheel drive because I love me an Audi.
No Mitsubishis of any sort.
No Mitsubishis of any sort.
Just because Mitsubishi.
No, because they're too fragile. And these were all good reasons not to get these. This is endurance racing, and they need to last. And they need to go around and around and around and around the track, which was what the S10 versions were great at. We did really, really well. I recently was updating the 3 p.m. fact book, and I was really amazed at how many times the boat beat the Civic. And it was in all those races where the Civic broke a hub or broke a wheel bearing or something else. And that stupid S10 just kept going around.
Well, somebody sent for that because the S10 is a pickup truck and it's got all these Chevy pick-em-up truck parts on it, where the Civic, it's an econobox, and we are pushing it to its limits and beyond. Where
and we
the
were
truck,
barely stressing it.
Exactly.
It was almost stock. And that was really what we talked about earlier about a stock vehicle, or a vehicle that's pretty close to stock is probably going to last longer. And if it happens to be a Chevy and a GM and a V6, these parts cost nothing. You can find them anywhere. It was a great race car.
And if
the
you
problem was,
if you drop them in an RX-7, it could probably last
Well,
if you don't smash into something.
and also, if you want this incredibly reliable, fantastic race car, it's for sale.
well, and this is what I was going to say.
Contact
The one
Jeff Wakeman.
Yes, absolutely. The one problem we had with it is it was not an A car. It is a solid middle-of-the-class B car, and it became the haves and have-nots on our team. Because although it was rear-wheel drive and it was fun, it was not a sports car.
Well,
So people were feeling like,
And mentally, you had some strong feelings on the matter.
wah. I got the S10.
No, and it was a different. It had nothing to do with the S10 itself. It was just, I've misfocused and gotten too much to be a speed junkie on that one. But I was going to say, Grassroots Motorsports wrote an article years ago about buying a race car, and one of the things that they said, if at all humanly possible, buy it from the podium. You don't want to buy a losing car and then try and turn that into a winning car. And the truck's a winning car.
But does it matter?
The
does it
Ombre
matter
is a winning car.
Which circuit? Which
It
class?
does. It
which
does.
like if you're going to buy it from a podium, you want a class
and-
winner,
and-
or
But ultimately, you have to buy a car. You're going to be putting a lot of time and effort and money into this. You have to buy a car you like, fundamentally.
That's my next
Which
thing
is why
coming
I'm
up
leading
right
Go
on
ahead.
here. So you really need to buy something that you like. And not everyone on the team liked the S10. And this is why, even though I love the S10, it's got to go. Because if we're all not interested in it, this is a team sport, we all got to be interested in
Right.
it. So I was a bit meh on the Mercedes. Mention the Mercedes, Chris.
Yeah, we almost bought a C43 AMG for $1,500.
And it was automatic. And I was a little wah-wah on the automatic, and I hemmed and hawed, and we missed it. We did end up deciding we could, but we didn't get it in time, et cetera, et cetera. I really wanted to stick. I just feel like, hey, I want to row my own.
Team name and all.
Team name and all, I understand. But this goes back to, if you like Mercedes, get a Mercedes. If you want to win, buy from the podium. If you want a BMW, find a BMW. If you like Porsches, put down the stuffed animal and pick something else up.
Right. If you want
That will win.
if you want an IOE,
Okay?
go French.
Exactly.
go weird?
Yeah, go weird.
Well,
But
yeah, because Darren and his crew have done a lot of really good work with those Mercedes. Those
They're-
various
Oh,
Mercedes.
Absolutely. They have put a lot of development into the Mercedes.
And
that's
there's some
great.
Mercedes smart people.
Absolutely. How's that compressor doing?
They're going to go standalone because they can't get the supercharger.
Anyway, so
Well, and they also are having trouble with automatic transmissions.
No, it's a manual. and
I'm
that's
sorry, the
okay.
manual. They're having trouble keeping the manuals together in the 300s, right?
They never put the manual in. They're trying to be able to fit a manual into 300. It involves I'll give you the very quick story. It involves
Darren's 300 has a manual, doesn't it?
yeah, well, the problem is they don't exist anymore.
They're the dog
They're
legs.
out of parts.
Right. So they're currently working on finding a way to fit a T5 Urban. It involves a bell housing from a Korean SUV
Oh, no.
that
Like
was,
a Rocky, right? At the
no,
Hatsu
like
Rocky
like
or
no,
something
it's like
that.
a Sasangyong prime minister but that the Ssangyong bought
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Mercedes tooling, and they sold SUVs in Russia with that tooling. But in two-wheel drive, they actually used a T5 transmission on it, but only in Russia. So it involves getting a bell housing from Russia from a Korean SUV sold in Russia with Mercedes tooling, and that's how they're fitting a T5 in it.
That sounds like something Bozon or Bozy Tarvik would like the research that only he would know.
Who's that?
I'm not kidding.
Bozy, just follow the Bozy on Twitter if you want.
Oh.
If you want to get
What,
like absolutely part number.
Twatgram.
Twatgram.
Oh,
If you want to get numbers about what part numbers bolt up, he did it in a fascinating, in-depth article about how Tesla door handles work. It's brilliant.
Like Michael from Squirt and Kronos just figured this out, and
Yeah.
they ordered 2 of these bell housings from a Korean
he's also
SUV
like-
sold
Yeah,
in
like
from,
the
Russia
Arab
with
tips.
Mercedes tooling.
walkauto.com.
Yeah,
Mike-
pretty much.
Mikey
Walk
knows what he's
auto.
doing.
Yeah.
I love it.
So anyway, they're working on that, but that's the level of detail you have to do with some of these, especially when the parts get older. Like they're running 124 Mercedes. The last one was sold in 1994.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Same problem we're having.
It's just a years thing. So I know that Tavarish on YouTube has put together some sort of Czechoslovakian stick in his Mercedes, and he found a guy who is putting BMW transmission bell housings into Mercedes, and he's running like rally. He runs a lot of rally Mercedes, so that was another option.
Anyway.
But anyway, Chrissy, I know you got top on this.
And I want to hear what Chrissy says, but if you remember, you'd mentioned this before we started the show. George Cluse kept swearing one day he'd catch a live show, and now George is now catching a live
thank you.
show.
I
Hey,
said
George.
just like
George.
I said just
Another
hook-
extreme experience instructor there.
Just
So
hook up a camera. That's all I was asking for. Okay, so I don't have anything revolutionary to say. Really, it's more of like, what are your goals? What do you want to drive fast? Do you want to drive slow? It's all the stuff that we've talked about now. I think that I love having cars that are great to drive, but I also have personality. I think a lot of ours just have something to do, and you can make them a great theme.
or French.
it's about how you feel when you drive it. Like
Right?
some cars like you just jive with, and some you don't.
And when you pick them, is it interesting, or is it a bunch of group that already exists? You have them that are like, do you want a BMW? Get a BMW. Do you want to be part of the bunch of trucks like we were? Right? Oh, this is great.
Chris, how many BMWs have you owned?
3.
3.
No, well, that's not the thing. So, if you
But
want
how
to
many BMWs have you raced?
None.
I've had all of them on track.
No.
Not
How many have you raced?
None.
As actual race cars, none. Because
Exactly.
But it was more
Trofeo.
like, but we've been excited about being part of one of the trucks, right? So we bought the
I
truck.
like being one of the trucks.
We
That was
bought
fun.
one. We bought our truck, and then we kind of like found a group and said, "Okay, and then we thought we were going to be like one of the best trucks. And who could win the best truck?
It was one of the best trucks. It's still one of the
it
best
was
trucks.
the fastest, and then it
Didn't.
Until it broke.
Yeah. I think that's one of the challenges with the truck.
spinning
Though,
off into the infield.
the truck did not evolve like the Civic has.
Well, we're also not giving it.
It evolved as the boat, and then when the boat fell apart, we
We
just
made
had all
the
these
truck.
parts, and we said, "Well, all
Which
right,
has been great.
So-
really.
we'll
Yeah.
make a truck," and we
Yeah.
did, and it's way faster
Way faster.
than a stake body pickup truck has a right to be.
And it has beaten every truck
Oh, yeah.
that's been on the track.
Oh yeah, no, it's
And
the
Dakota,
pinnacle of trucks.
The other S10.
I just think it's we've
We're
had
done
it for
with it.
so long.
We're done with it.
That's
Yeah.
all.
Yes.
Like we're over it.
So-
we need some strange.
So right. Anyway, so my
Strange will not bring you chicken soup when you are sick.
Thank you.
so my idea was like, if you're going to be part of the truck group, we raced against the truck group. We're like, okay, can we do better than this truck? That if you're going to be better than that
Because we've
group.
known failure with a truck.
And then there's been a bunch of all of those, things like that. If you're going to be part of it, you want to race against them, you want to be something better than them, then great. I think we just like to stand out, and that's our thing.
We
And
do
just-
like to stand out.
And if you're ever going to have something that is normal, we'd like to stand out with it.
We mostly just like to entertain ourselves. We're easily amused.
Case in point.
True, but
This thing.
we come up with a Honda, and we've always had the Honda, and we've said we can do this better and just as better than most people, and it's partially because of Chris's giant Civic brain.
Well, and let's not forget, we were running an all-wheel drive Honda Civic Wago van because we thought that was cool.
No,
But-
It was cool.
Because my mom said, well, this won't pass inspection.
I have this car for you.
So
So it goes.
here,
It's
you can
the,
have it.
It's the Dave thing. What do you have the most junk parts lying around for?
Absolutely.
At the time we did, and now we can't get enough of it.
But a Civic Wago van was weird enough for us.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And we had the great, like the Judge Phil quote on it. There's nothing worse than a Wago van or whatever the hell it was. I don't even remember what it said.
But we it's really what Chris said. We think we're funny, and we try to do something awesome. But it comes back to, do we like something we like to drive, and is it something that is weird enough? We don't want to stick in with the crowd. So that's what we do, and I think it's important to. I think it depends on what you want to do with your race
And
car.
to that end, I am so excited for the 300.
The
So
300 will
excited.
be excellent. And
So
I'm
excited.
very glad because we have already come up with the most important parts of deciding what we're going to do with the 300. We've already picked our best theme. It's a theme we've been waiting to do for years and years and years.
And that we've been encouraging other people to do, and no one has done it yet.
Yes,
and
Much
it
like
is-
Springtime for
Yeah,
Hitler.
right, not
How many
Springtime
times
for
can I
Hitler.
suggest that someone do Springtime for Hitler until we finally have to do it ourselves?
well, and you needed the right shape.
It's true. The Civic is never the right shape for it.
It's
Neither
been
was the
wrong
Boat or the
shape.
Ombre.
Now we have a car
We
that
needed
is
a
the
rear
right
wheel
shape.
drive. Rear wheel drive a car.
With a cockpit at the
yeah,
rear.
Yeah.
We needed something
Yeah.
with a bit of a longer
Like
nose.
an E-Type would have been best, but we can't get one of those for the right price.
An E-Type would have been good.
People are gonna be so excited, but they have to wait like a year
gonna wait.
plus.
That's
Clown
fine.
shoe.
Fine.
No
Also,
clown shoes.
can't get it with the right
Can't
price.
get it with the right price.
Oh, well. Anyway.
But anyway, let's get on. Anything else? Want to say anything? Anything on the Facebooks
just pick
on
something
this
you
topic?
No,
Pick
I
something
think-
you love. I think is the end, right?
Yeah, it comes up to your goals.
Or
'Cause you
pick
ha-
from
you
the
want.
podium.
You have to be
Pick
excited.
from the podium, or pick what you love. Bam.
So ideally, both.
Sure.
Sure.
And also, it depends on what is your podium.
Ooh, I like
There we go.
that.
Yeah, no. That's what,
Trophy.
because there's
Trophy.
not to sound too much like a whiskey commercial, but could be your podium is all of you and your team sitting around at the end of a weekend going, well, that was a absolute ton of fun, fantastic.
Your podium might be mid-pack, but it ran all weekend. Good for you.
Absolutely, everyone gets seat time. Yeah, no, that's legit.
There it is. So let's move on to Hella Sweet or But Terrible. It is a Hella Sweet or But Terrible week, so we do not have just the tip. And it's going... I know, it's disappointing when you don't even get just the tip. What was that? Boring. We didn't get just the
Hey,
tip.
he's the one who axed my spiel here.
So we have been talking about the Miata. We have been talking about how it is going to go to my father. My father is in his 70s. He is going to track it. He is going to take it to some local autocrosses. He's going to have a good time with it. It is going to be a fun car. And 100 years ago, my brother and I painted it with rattle cans.
Absolutely.
With rattle cans in desert camouflage. It was supposed to just be for the Babe Rally.
Which was in 2009.
2012.
2011.
No,
11.
11, okay.
Because it ran in 8 when it was pink. Reddish, faded red.
Yeah,
The
but
only
it
reason I
ran-
know it's 11
no.
because today I saw it on the side of it. It says
No, but oh
2011.
no, it was that one when
But the-
when
no,
we
but-
ran to.
It was the one when Mental showed up with
but
his
the
van.
year
That was 12. You painted the year before that.
Yeah, the year they painted it was 11 because that's the year the graphics say 2011. Yeah.
No.
I saw it today. It says 2011.
But
right on the
when
side.
Jim drove it, the first.
But that was the pink one. That was.
It was
that,
not pink when I drove it.
It was
was
red.
red.
It was
But
red.
it was pink.
Faded red.
Yeah.
Faded red.
Yes.
Just like
Either
just
way,
like Ben's
That was
TSX.
08. Was the very first year, but you painted a camo in 11. Is the point.
Yes.
Okay, fine.
11, 12-ish, wherever
must
that
know.
was. I don't know. It doesn't matter. What
So
matters
for the
is-
history lesson there, folks.
There you go.
Yeah,
what kind of
wood-
what
Trophy
kind
Over when
of
Jeff
camo?
painted his Miata.
It doesn't matter.
What kind
It
of
is.
camo?
It is approaching 10 years old or 6 or 7.
And it's
And
Rattle
it's
can.
gone.
Needs it.
It
It's
is
gone.
terrible.
So I said to my father, is there a color that you would like? Because I will repaint it. Rattle can, of course. It's not get crazy here. I was thinking a nice golf color because he likes golf. And I would put golf on it instead of golf. Thought that was kind of funny. My son likes light blue. We'd have a good time painting it. And he was
Everything needs more golf
like...
theme.
everything's-
right.
And
Except Lemans cars.
Except Lemans cars.
Here's the thing, I think there should be an entire field when Phil drives. They should show up, and not everyone should be Gulf colors, like every single entry.
I am touching right now mental Gulf
Wait, what are you touching?
Tag Heuer watch.
I love it.
That I am extremely jealous of.
I have the Gulf colored shoes. I have a Gulf painted fridge in my garage.
And remember when
Gulf
he
colors.
wasn't? What race were we at where he wasn't? And I put on his jacket, and I was like, "Look, it's my Gulf jacket. Aren't I cool? Look at my hair." But anyway,
it was Barber.
It was Barber, yes. So anyway, my father's reply to what color would you like me to repaint it was, I kind of like a camouflage.
Oh, no. Okay.
And so now I'm deciding, he wants to keep it camouflage. What to do with it. So it is desert camouflage now. I will tell you some of the good things and the bad things about being desert camouflage, and you all tell me whether this is hella sweet or but terrible. Camouflage really works. It really does change the shape of a Miata. People who know cars come up to me and say, "What is that?" They really have lost track of what it looks like. So, it's totally different if you're... Exactly.
See, I liked it when you guys,
Sweet
the first year we had it, and you guys would actually wear like camo hats and stuff.
Yeah,
in it.
exactly.
It was
a good theme.
In the South, I was worried people were going to get too upset that you were a big proponent of gays in the military, but...
But if you're trying to hetero up a Miata, camouflage is a good way to do it.
Yeah.
I'm not really worried about it because obviously we're talking about
not
the theme.
so much.
No, Barbie not so much.
The Barbie
I
theme.
proudly drove the Barbie car to work a bunch.
Yeah. Well, not when it said Barbie, though.
Oh, yeah. I raced our neighbor Jim
we took
down
it off.
422.
No, we took it off shortly after we got home.
Yeah, about 2 weeks, but I still
But I think I do remember seeing like a casual photo of you in like the open collar. I'm actually going to my office job. Get up, and it still said Barbie on the side of that Miata.
Yeah.
So there it is. My father wants it camouflage. What should I do? Hella sweet or but terrible. Keep it camo. Golf. What do I do?
Okay.
Round the table.
So, in my neighborhood, there's some ridiculous flat-brimmed vaping hipsters
By
up
the
the
way,
street.
Facebook people, please feel free to chime in.
Oh yes, please.
I think
And
we don't have
do
many
it
of them
now,
left.
yeah. God, you guys are boring.
Nobody cares.
Darren just joined.
Big
Hi,
sexy.
Oh, big
Big
sexy.
Sexy.
All right, now David Eccles telling us to go digital camouflage like all the
Ooh,
cool
digital.
Arby's.
What is digital camo?
Google it. Look at it.
Squares.
We know what it looks
just
like.
Google
But
it.
it's different than
Yes,
snow
it
and-
is.
okay.
All right. So my thing is and it's funnier in the South, but the hipsters up the street, the flat brim vaping, something with a minor, all have a bunch of different BMWs that are variations on snow camouflage. So they've got a red one and a blue one, the snow camouflage. I'm going to go with the most absolutely ridiculous hipster snow camo you can go with. And the reason for this is it does absolutely, in fact, put a front spoiler on there and sticker bomb it. Don't even paint that, just nothing but stickers all over
It's so
the
much
front
more
of it.
work. We're not doing
And
more work.
and the reason I say that is make it this ridiculous hipster Miata because you've done all the suspension work, so it's got the capability. And we all know that your dad can drive. And I want to see the guy roll up and see if he can, instead of pardon me, can I have some Grey Poupon? Hey, bro, you got any Lucky Charms flavored vape? And he looks over and goes, oh, man. And
That dude's old.
That dude's old. Hey, man, did
you want to race off road?
did your son
Let's
have to
go.
borrow your truck or something? And then your dad just kind of looks over at him and promptly cleans their clock
I have to say that
with this Miata.
you could be like this to my dad. Yo, you in the Miata. He won't even hear him. His hearing is gone at this point. It's just so. There it is.
But he could drive around blaring Dean Martin all day long.
It's
when
yes.
the moon hits your eye like a big pizza
No, it wouldn't be that. It would
pie.
be Blue Moon.
Stop
He's
singing.
a Motown guy. So
All right. I'm going to go with Minecraft camo.
Minecraft. Interesting.
8-bit style Minecraft
'Cause it's
camo.
like
Zelda.
green, black,
And
it's
brown.
light green, dark green,
and brown. And
But they're not like trying to make like woodland green. They're
Yeah.
like computer green.
yeah. And here's a couple reasons why. One, it's big blocks. It's easy to paint.
it's true.
Okay. Two, the grandkids love Minecraft.
It's true.
So they'll help them paint it, all of them. So that's fantastic. You only need a T-square really to do it. and like the kids would get it. It would work. It's camo-ish. It would be unique. There we go.
That's interesting. I like that.
I'm going springtime for Hitler camo. Pink, blue, and green.
Because we have that.
some of
Because
that.
we have
Oh,
that
yeah.
paint kicking around.
Oh no, we
Yeah,
don't have
we
any of
still
that. We don't have
We
any pink.
still have some of the blue, I think.
Maybe, but
It was
I
Easter
have-
camo.
I
it
have all
was
three.
amazing, and it was Easter camo. It was beautiful, and
It was distinctive.
it was distinctive, and it wasn't trying to replicate any of the other camos. So I'm going springtime
If
for
any
Hitler
of you have
camo.
been to New Jersey, the event garages outside of number 7, you will
Still has
see
it on the
you will
ground.
see a rectangle on the ground outside of garage number 7 that is in our Easter camo colors. Thank you, Steve the dishwashing fairy.
Right? Who made a box
He,
on the
he
ground?
painted his little tank costume on the ground right there,
Still
and
there.
the rectangle is still there in our colors.
Yep, I'm going
Yep.
springtime for Hitler.
Fair enough. All right, Jeff. So what do you think? Is that all any of that is hella sweet but terrible? What do you think? Your choice.
I like all of these ideas. I'm not sure which one I'm going to
come
do.
on.
So
Except
they're butt sweet.
So I'm gonna go.
Butt sweet,
I'm gonna
hella
go
too.
hella sweet on digital. I'm meh on digital because that's kind of squarish. What did you suggest, Mental?
He said digital.
He said
Snow
digital.
camo.
Snow.
Hipster snow camo.
I like Minecraft. I'm going butt terrible on
Oh,
the
come on.
Springtime for Hitler. Not because it's not good, because I would rock it, but I'm not sure my dad would.
I know.
So, what we talked about originally, trying to hetero it up a little bit, and that is not hetero
Just
at
a
all,
little.
Springtime for Hitler. So, yeah, so we're going to go.
Unless you're so confident that you don't care.
It's true.
Well, you would do it.
Who's your dad trying to impress?
Right?
Nobody,
Right?
nobody.
There's
All
that.
of you stay away
We
from my
love you,
VFR.
Rose.
I got Springtime for Hitler playing.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, there you
anyway.
go. I don't know where the speakers are on this laptop, so that's kind of a problem.
Okay.
All right.
All right, so there it is.
There it
Anything
is.
else on the Facebook? We have Digital and Darren Hemmerling, and Dave Carpenter likes Chris's idea. So,
All right, did we,
Okay.
can we
There it
say
is.
hi to everybody? Folks, thanks so much for actually signing up and watching this. So yeah, Dave, thanks for all the input. Todd, thanks for talking to us. We'll we will get your background on that race. Absolutely, we'll feed that in too.
What?
Hey, Todd, get Joey Todd to return my emails.
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so does
Dan,
anyone...
good to see you. No, say thanks to all the people on the Facebook.
Go ahead.
There's this lovely and talented woman named Jennifer Peters. Wow.
Yeah, no, she hung up already.
Yeah,
My
right,
son was
like a
bored.
long time ago. He was like, zzz.
Yeah. My
All right,
son was
also-
like, no, it's boring, Daddy. I'm going to bed.
And also, but your son also mentioned don't forget to link his podcast.
Oh, that's right. So the Josh and Dad podcast, which comes out like almost never these days.
right, and it's hard to find on anywhere
It
else.
is. I only put it on Facebook. So if you're a Facebook friend of mine, find Josh and Dad podcast. It's really good. But it's like midnight here, so he's in bed.
Right.
He
There
better
it
be,
is.
or else.
Oh.
Oh, he'll miss his favorite song.
Okay.
So
We
right
can't
now,
really
folks,
hear that,
right
Joe.
now, folks, go and hit the gym. Start training. It's just a montage. You'll be bigger and stronger in a minute and 30 seconds.
Thank you for downloading us. We hope you enjoyed this week's special edition live of Everyone Racers. We also hope you'll join us in the world of driving, racing, and building, because everyone can be a racer, even you. And when I see you dancing, I see the starlight in your eyes. If you enjoyed this podcast, please hit the subscribe button on YouTube, Google Play, iTunes, wherever you get it. All the places. If you have any questions, talk to us on the Facebooks or drop us any ideas onto our Everyone Racers page, Three Pedal Mafia Lemans page, or wherever. It's everyone.racers@gmail.com, Instagram, Twitter, we're everywhere. Thank you, and until next week, keep the shiny side up unless there is no shiny side. Then just keep the wheels down.